Simon, I don't know if you recall, but we worked together, but I don't remember you until later on in our working relationship. What I do remember is we hired Jenny to replace me in the role I was doing where I could move up the major injury cases. And she was brand new to us, and she had a significant case that settled out a large amount. And I was a little nervous about a newbie working on that. And then she got to know you, and you worked her through that. And I think that onboarding with the two of you was what got everything started.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy that we've gone from that to handling dozens and dozens of cases a year and kind of working together to put together a process that not only fills the need of what your clients need for a structure, but what else you guys need as a law firm in terms of making sure that I'm available and doing what's best for you guys in your process. And I know you guys have a very, being a larger firm and both of you guys managing many, many people, paralegals under you, transferring that process to everybody on your teams is really important, at least for me, to know that everybody has an understanding of how we all fit into the role of making sure your clients get what they need at the end of the day.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really important that we have a close relationship in that way because we are a volume firm. We have a major injury and a personal injury department, and we have a lot of paralegals in those departments. And so process is really important. And so I do remember getting my first case with Simon. I didn't have much experience at all. And Jen here was training me, and it was a large case. And, being new, she didn't want to throw me to the wolves and say, here, sink or swim.
Yeah.
But I ended up keeping the case. And that's when Simon and I really developed that professional relationship because, he was so easy to talk to, easy to ask questions. Because I didn't know much of anything about annuities or structures. And so having that relationship and then building a process now within our departments is really important. So absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it was good. I mean, we started with, a couple of cases in the beginning, and now we're handling a whole bunch of cases with your firm, which I think caused us to put in some, procedures in place that help make sure we were doing what was best for your clients going forward. And I think my key role when working with you guys is learning how important you individually and as a whole paralegals are to the entire settlement process. I mean, I get involved in cases to help your clients and invest the money tax-free to make sure they're protected in the future. But a lot of people don't really understand how important a paralegal is to that entire process. So maybe you guys can fill in our audience here a little bit about what is a paralegal? What do you do? What is a day in the life of Jen and Jenny like? And not only is your role as paralegals, but also as your role managing paralegals within your firm.
Oh, we will tell it all. The paralegals do everything. People don't know that, especially new paralegals. They come in thinking, I don't know. I think the TV show Suits really messed up what people think paralegals are. We don't wear high heels every day. We aren't, cruising in a 20, 50-story building. But the paralegals handle the heart of the case. We do all the medical records, the billing statements. We talk to the client. We are the main client contact. And that surprises a lot of people that we're here to support the client, get all the information in that's needed to support the attorney, where the attorney can focus on the strategy, can focus on fighting the good fight with all the people out there opposing our clients getting a fair settlement.
Yeah. All of that is definitely what our paralegals and what a paralegal does. Very busy, dealing with clients all day long, talking with clients, getting the details we need from them about how their injury in this accident or whatever they're being represented for has affected their life. So they're kind of on the ground gathering all of that and then keeping the attorney straight, scheduling those meetings with them, scheduling those phone calls. There's so many details in just one case. And if you multiply that over 100, it's an extremely busy environment to be in. But organization is key too with these paralegals, for sure.
Yeah. Litigation paralegals also, we have to go to trial. That can be a couple of days, that can be weeks. Paralegals are with the clients, holding their hands during that time. It's very stressful. Same with, just a pre-lit case. It's a lot of work with clients and a lot of managing and making sure things are getting done.
And I think that was a key thing that I learned early on in my career, is that a lot of people don't realize that the paralegal really is that direct connection to that client, right? You guys have way more interaction a lot of times with a client than many attorneys do. Not always. I mean, different firms do things in different ways, but a lot of times a paralegal is the one that is reaching out to the client a lot, having the conversations, giving them updates about what's going on. And through that, you really get to know these people, which for my role as a settlement advisor, trying to figure out the best plan for these clients in the future and how can we invest their money and provide that tax-free payout to them. You guys having that understanding of what they really need is really key. And I don't think a lot of people really have that knowledge that, hey, yeah, I'm hiring an attorney. They're going to be the one that's going to go talk to me all the time and do it. You guys are really the ones that are there holding their hands and really making sure they have an understanding of what's going on. Now, is that something that you think is unique to your firm, or is that something that you think happens at all firms?
It should be happening at all firms, as far as the client being taken care of to the level we take care of our clients, and knowing your clients. So, you have someone from a certain socioeconomic background, and now they have this settlement, their life's been changed. How are they going to be protected? And a structured settlement is one of those ways we can protect someone, especially a minor who, is going to turn 18 and might not do good things with the money yet. They might, frontal lobe hasn't fully developed. So they might take that money and buy the vehicle that is not the vehicle they need. And they might go partying a little much. So we know what the parents are wanting for the minor. We know if it's an adult settlement, we know what their hopes are for their future, maybe their legacy. And that is something that's so vital to a good law firm, is having a paralegal who really knows the client, understands what they want in the future. I think it's one of the things with being a paralegal. I mean, you've heard, Jenny, so many intimate things from our clients, things they're not willing to share with an attorney because, you're intimidated with an attorney. The word brings weight. And paralegal, we're the ones where they can be themselves, express their frustrations, express the difficulties they're going through, how they're feeling about the process. And they also share their dreams with us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's really important to take care of your clients. It's one of the things here at this firm that we really pride ourselves on is client satisfaction. It's really important to us because without clients, we don't work. We're not open. And so we're doing this for them. And that's what gives us the drive to do what we do, is those clients.
Yeah.
And, we really do care. They're in their most vulnerable spot when they come to us.
Yeah.
They're hurt. They cannot work. They don't have a car because it was, in an accident. And so we have to be that sounding board for them. Sometimes it involves them venting to us. Sometimes they're angry, but they're not angry with us. They're just dealing with a lot. So, and it goes beyond after we get paid. I think client satisfaction, you're really showing the client or the client's guardians that you care, because after we get our fee, we don't have to structure their money. We could not suggest that to them. We could just say, here's your kid's money. He's getting $40,000 at 18, but we care. We care beyond once we get paid, and we want them to be successful in life.
I think you guys have really, hit the nail on the head there, that it is important to really have an understanding of what they need. Now, when we talk about the process, right, we talk about everything that goes on with a case. We talk about all the work that you guys are doing behind the scenes, the real unsung heroes of getting the case done. I think when I first started working with you guys, obviously, Jenny, you took over handling all minors cases for the firm, and we were really interacting in all those cases.
Yeah.
And some of those process that we put in place is kind of transferred down to all the different paralegals I've worked with at the firm over the years and now handling all these cases. And I think it's interesting that we kind of work together, not only me working with you guys as paralegals, working with the attorneys, and also working with my staff in terms of making sure we get stuff done. So maybe you guys can highlight a little bit of how that all works together, right? How do we work as a team to make sure that we're doing what's best for your client, and why it's important to make sure that you're working with somebody that you guys trust, that can make sure that the case is getting done, and doesn't have to be me, obviously, but any settlement consultant that people and paralegals are working with. What do you expect from a settlement consultant when you're going about doing a case?
We have cheated on you before, Simon, and use a different company. But we came back to you because your team is that good. We need someone who is our right hand to our right hand. A team that's there making sure things are moving. We handle a lot of cases. We have a lot of clients to look out for. We care for every single one. And one of the great things about your team and you is you're there following up, making sure we have what we need when we need it, and quickly, very quickly.
Yeah, that's important. The quick part, and the relationship part. If we're not understanding something or how to break something down and explain something to a parent, we reach out to you, or I reach out to you and your company, and y'all always offer to explain it, and you do a great job at that. And then even speak with the guardians. I know that y'all have done that, and that's very much appreciative. So I think it's really important to have that foundation relationship, professional relationship. And then with our volume at this firm, process is really important. So getting with you early on so we can have all 29 paralegals or 16 paralegals in major injury doing the same thing makes cases move consistently and like they should.
I know we put a lot of when we started working with you guys, we really changed a lot of the process in our office.
Yeah.
Of how we're going about doing things, right? You don't want to be getting a follow-up from my office every day on a different case. So we switch it around. We do weekly follow-ups where we cover all the cases, go over stuff, and really have that understanding and we try and get as much information as we need from you guys as possible so that when we say go, hey, we're ready to go, we're ready to move, we have that final lean, which we all know can lead us right up to the 11th hour on some of these
3:30.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. We make sure that we got everything in place. I think that's important that you guys give the feedback to me and my team about what the expectations you have of us, and we were open enough that we could talk about the expectations that we have from you guys to get stuff done. But one thing you touched on briefly is the process, right, of that, what you guys do. And I want to take a few minutes just to talk about how things are changing in the legal community, right? Where we're changing the use of technology and what's going on, and how does that really change the job? And I think a lot of people are kind of scared of technology and AI and what's coming. And maybe you guys can just touch on it briefly about what you guys have going on at your firm and how things have changed for the positive.
Well, James Scott Farrin, and mainly, we have an amazing owner, Jim. He's a great businessman, and we have been in the front of technology for a while. One of the first things we did, the client management program we used, we couldn't stand it. It was so redundant. There were so many things in it we disliked. So our contract was up, and he had the idea, why don't we create our own? So we created our own client management system. It's called Jove, after Jupiter. And it's an amazing program. We recommend it to everyone, of course, because it was created by paralegals and attorneys, mainly by paralegals, because we're doing, like we've already talked about, we do the work. We do a lot of the work. And so now, keeping, true to ourselves, we are using AI. We're considered AI native, which means we're using AI in every practice area. And we have a very high usage rate, one of the highest for law firms adapting AI. And we're loving it. Right. I mean, Jenny, your people.
It's like a legal assistant, basically. Everyone now has a legal assistant. So we always tell our paralegals, you have to check what you put in there, because it's gonna base the information it puts out on what's in there. So if you're putting bad information in there, you're going to get bad information out. So you have to check what you put in and what comes out. But it helps our paralegals and attorneys do things much faster. And so we can develop or spend more time on the client, spend more time doing other things that need to be done to build the value of our cases.
Yeah, like Jenny said, everyone's got a legal assistant now. A legal assistant has a legal assistant. Paralegals have a legal assistant. Attorneys have legal assistants. Our settlement department, and it's just freeing us up to focus even more on our clients and getting things done quickly and accurately. Is also a great audit for our cases. It's another set of eyes on things. You have to verify it, of course. Everyone's right. AI is not perfect. But that's one of the cool things about it being imperfect is if I go, what? That doesn't seem right, then it's making me go double check. So even when it gets it wrong, it's useful for us doing a good deep dive into the case and making sure what we know is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's great because I think a lot of people are kind of terrified about this. Hey, AI is going to take over and eliminate the role of a paralegal. And I think we all know that paralegals you guys are way too important to the process. So
we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going
anywhere.
You can try. You're not getting rid of us.
So maybe as we wrap this up, maybe that's how you guys can kind of give a little feedback to our audience, right? And maybe you guys can just say, not only as seasoned paralegals that have been doing this and doing a great job, but also as people that manage other paralegals, maybe you can highlight a little bit about what do you think is important for someone that maybe wants to start a career as a paralegal or someone that's in a career. What is the most important thing that you guys feel a paralegal should have in their, Rolodex of skills that they have?
I think it's some of the corporate words or soft skills. It's ownership. You have to come into your role as paralegal and take ownership in everything you do. Ownership in the documents you're producing, ownership in the documents you're getting in from different places, the evidence, ownership in helping your clients out. It is important what we do. It's not surgery, but it's so important. These are people's futures are in our hands. They've been seriously injured and they need the paralegal there fighting with everything they have to get things done. And that's ownership. I think that's the best word for that.
I agree. Ownership is really important. I think drive determination is important as well, combined with that.
Yeah.
I think that when you have a case and you're helping a client, it's not just about presenting medical records and medical bills to the adjuster or to the defense attorney. It's about building the value of that case and how this has really affected the clients. Yeah. And so, you have to have some drive and determination to be able to do that because not everyone's going to just vent to you and tell you everything. You have to continuously push yourself too.
Yeah.
Being with clients on the phone or meeting with them day in and day out. I mean, it takes a special person for sure.
Yeah, we're driven. I love the word driven. We always joke around here. We're tired. I think every paralegal at every law firm, if you ever get on Facebook, social media, there's jokes about how tired we are at the end of the week. I drive home without music playing. I just can't. My brain's done. I've left it all on the court.
Yes.
All on the field. I hate sports analogy, but I can't think of any other analogies. They're way too easy. But yeah, paralegals are very hard workers, and ownership and drive. That's what makes an amazing paralegal.
I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time. I love working with you guys, you know that, and I really appreciate you kind of giving a little inside look as to what you guys do every day, how important you are, and hopefully some other people in this settlement world can now give you guys a little bit more respect and understand the importance that you guys have in your day-to-day and especially for clients.
This has been great. Thanks for the invite. It's always fun to hang out with Simon and think about the old days when we first met each other. And I really appreciate the shout out for paralegals. We are, I have to say, I know I'm biased. We're the unsung heroes in the law firm. So I appreciate Ringler and Simon taking time to recognize us.
Yeah. Thank you guys.